What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the RTG career mode. This is episode number 17. We're starting today's stuff on the back of a 2-0 loss at home to Cadiz that ended our 8-game unbeaten run. And we start off with free scouting updates and an academy update as we enter November here. You know, I get asked questions like quite a lot on, how to build a youth academy and, how to get the best quality players. And a lot of times people ask me like, where should I scout? Where should I send my scouts? Because they want to know whether the nations have a higher chance of finding quality players dependent on where you are scouting in the world. The answer is pretty simple. Like, there are studies out there are guides out there that are verified, and they will tell you that certain nations can wield you a higher percentage of a chance of getting a super high potential youth player. There are certain countries that do better than others. But I say this quite often, like, to me, it's all about the scout themselves. Like, the scout will still manage to find you a gem, even if you're scouting in a, let's just say, less than reputable nation, or a nation that you wouldn't ordinarily consider to be a top-tier nation for youth prospects. So for me, I would say this, like, put less emphasis on the country, more emphasis on the scout, because in FIFA CM, and I say this all the time, if you have a 5-star scout, it's the best one you can get. The chances are you are going to find good enough youth players in 1 year to pretty much fill up an academy with, I should say, a full scouting network of 3 5-star, 5-stars. You saw last season, we scouted quite a lot, and yes, we haven't got a potential to be special player just yet, or so we think, that there probably is one in our academy right now. That's through 1 year's worth of scouting, 1 year worth of scouting, and in 2-3 years, yeah, we'll definitely have probably 2 or 3 more potential to be special players as well, and that's 91 plus. That is 91 plus. That is literally, that's a Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a Lionel Messi. That is a golden generation, one of the GOATs of all time sort of players. You can get that every single season in FIFA career mode, regardless of where you're scouting. We right now are scouting Egypt, and we're scouting Spain, and we're scouting Algeria. And, Egypt, Algeria, last year we also had Morocco as well. These are North African countries, yet we're also scouting Spain and Portugal as well. It just goes to show that, like, it really doesn't seem to matter where you scout. You can still find these quality players. Whether we were scouting in South Korea or we were scouting in Bolivia, yes, of course, there are guides out there, and I'm not downplaying the guides whatsoever. I definitely recommend it if you're getting into FIFA career for the first time and you want to start youth scouting. But ultimately, doesn't really matter that much. If you've got yourself a 5-star scout and a full scouting network, if you're doing 9-month missions time after time again, season by season, you're going to find at least one player who probably has, or most likely has, potential to be special. So my advice is very simple: scout where you want to scout, because if you've got the best scouts, you'll eventually find someone from that nation. Anyway, first game of this episode was away in Barcelona at the RCDE Stadium against Espanyol. Fell behind in the first half, got back on level terms for Adama Traore. What a goal by Adama Traore, that was there, bending one home from range as we came back to claim a point. So, yeah, okay, fair enough. No wins in our last 3 games, but good to make sure we wouldn't have back-to-back losses there, especially when we were training. But the following game, I was really looking forward to this. I don't know what you guys are saying with me, when like a new season starts, especially if you've just been promoted, you go through your fixture list and you think, oh, I can't wait for that game to come around, I couldn't wait for this one. Real Madrid at the Estadio, La Rosaleda, taking on Carlo Ancelotti's side. And I felt pretty confident heading into the game. No wins in our last 3, yes, but I felt pretty confident heading into this game. And, well, in the first half, fair enough, Nunez did make a couple of great saves, but in the second half, 15 minutes after the restart, what a signing this guy's been on a freebie. And a former Barcelona man is going to love scoring against Real Madrid. Yep, Adama Traore once again, 2-2 for our speedy winger, makes it 8-40 for the season, and Malaga have the lead. Question is, can we hold on to the win with 14 minutes to go? Sadly not. The wily old dog, Karim Benzema, does it once again. Man, can I just say very briefly, like, I know that, in modern day football, average ages of squads gets younger and younger, and that's a good thing. I know I'm in my 30s now, but that's a really good thing. I love seeing young players get chances, but there are certain players who just feel timeless, and Karim Benzema, the fact he's gotten better in his 30s is proof in the pudding right there that there are certain players who can still take their game to another level, even in their advancing years. It's great to see. It really is. Karim Benzema, and for him to win the Ballon d'Or as well. How great was that to see, honestly? It really was pretty cool. But anyway, we drew the game 1-1. Nunez made a couple of great saves later on in the game as well. But, whilst it is a really good point, don't get me wrong, and I'd certainly take it pre-game, once again, failing to win. Now, no wins in our last 4 games. And I was starting to think, well, we had a really good stretch of 8 unbeaten. Now, no wins in our last 4. I'm a little bit nervous here because, you know, when we started the season off, I said first season, you know, in La Liga, I'm going to aim for a mid-table to top 10 finish if possible. But after a great run, I was thinking, why not Europe? Why not just sneak in to that 6th and final European place in La Liga? Yeah, I'm not sure we're ready for that just yet. Following game, Villarreal away from home, taking on the Yellow Submarine, and we fell behind 22 minutes in. Bobby Firmino with those pearly whites, those lovely veneers, that's how they look. Anyway, makes it 1-0 with his 6th goal of the season, 23 minutes in. What a beautiful chip, to be fair, over Nunez as Villarreal took the lead. There is obviously a lot of talk that Firmino is going to join one of Barcelona or Real Madrid on a free transfer next season. Yeah, wouldn't be a bad shout for either team, really. But he was at Villarreal in this save. He gave the host the lead, and then in the second half, after Nacho Fernandez did go quite close, to be fair, Bobby Firmino bagged his brace 13 minutes after the restart. You know, there are certain celebrations in FIFA. You want to know how they're done? Well, this one here, I don't know how you do this one. Like, I know how to do most celebrations, just not in the right order. I don't know how you do that one. I don't think I've ever seen that one before. That looked really, really cool, to be fair. But even so, Firmino did the celebration after scoring the second goal, and it finishes 2-0. So, 15 games in, we end November, and after a great unbeaten run of 8, no wins in our last 5 now, and we now sit 9 points behind Sevilla in 4th place. That's the Champions League spot, of course. I think the truth is we were just playing a little bit above our level recently, no doubt about that. We had a fantastic run, again, no losses in 8 games, but I think we were playing a little bit above our level, really. So, yeah, where we are right now, if we finish there come the end of the season, I'd still take it. It would mean no European football. Doesn't matter to me. Like, seriously, I'd still take that for our first season in La Liga. A great building block, if you will. Still, 3 more scouting updates as we enter December, and an academy there as well. Look at Ahmed there at right back. 68 rated, 82 to 88 potential. And again, proof in the pudding right there. Like I was saying earlier, that the nations don't really matter as much as the scouting, if you will, because, you know, Morocco, obviously, great to see them become the first African nation to reach the World Cup semi-final this year, last year now in Qatar 2022. I feel pretty smug saying I know. I think an African team's going to get to semi-finals. Admittedly, I did say Senegal. Admittedly, hold my hands up, I said Senegal, but I did say I think that an African team's going to make the semi-finals. I said I think it might be Senegal, but I did feel very confident an African nation's going to do it. It's wonderful to see it. It really, really was. But anyway, you know, the proof is there. Like, seriously, whether it's Spain, whether it's Portugal, whether it's Algeria, Morocco, or Egypt, the 5 nations we're currently scouting, it doesn't really matter. Any of these nations can still produce a superb young talent. If not potential to be special, still an exciting prospect, which I think is 85 to 90 overall, or 86 to 90 overall. So it's proof right there that, like, to me, when people say, oh, Doctor, where should I scout? I wish I send my scouts out. Mate, wherever you want. Like, seriously, literally wherever you want. Because there are guides out there that will give you, like, the slightly better percentage chances of finding those players. But really, you got, in my opinion, almost, not definitely, but almost as good a chance wherever you send them. So to me, I'd say, like, what's your home nation? Scout there. Or where's a nation you never scouted before? Scout there. Or what's a nation you just like to find some youth players in? Scout there, because don't be put off by the fact that, you know, maybe you might look at like a South Korea, for example, or I don't know, an Ecuador or something, and think, oh, I'm not sure, wouldn't it be better to stay safe and go to Brazil, for example? Well, either way, you're still probably going to find someone at some point, even though you're scouting a nation which, again, might not be as reputable, if you will, when it comes down to producing world stars in world football time in, time out. Anyway, final game of this episode, back at the Estadio Rosaleda for this one. Again, no wins in our last 5 games, taking on Sevilla, who are in 4th right now. I said a moment ago there, whilst I would take where we are right now, I'd still love the chance to possibly sneak into Europe. So as we come towards the halfway stage here, this is a really key moment. No wins in our last 5 games. Needed to get back to form here. Taking on Sevilla, tied at 1-1. Second half begins. 10 minutes after the restart, Traore just hit the bar. This is a really, really nice little build-up as Zorgain goes through and finesses it home. Yep, the Algerian who we spent the big bucks on in the summer transfer window gives us the lead. And after Falai Sacco scored his first goal for the club in the first half, Zorgain gets his second. Goes through one-on-one and finesses it into the back of the net to give us the win. Yep, we get the win in the end by 2-1. And, you know, I mentioned a moment ago there that we probably were playing a little bit above our level recently. There's no reason we couldn't get Europa League. You know, Champions League, okay, fair enough, we just beat a top 4 team. There's no reason we couldn't get Europa League, but we'll have to get a lot more consistent. No wins in 5. Thankfully, that comes to an end here, but we need to start stringing some wins together if we are to stay in the top 10 and possibly snatch a European place. But that will end today's episode of the RTG Career Mode, guys. Big thanks for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the RTG Career Mode as we reach the halfway point of the season in Season 2 of Malaga, aiming to get ourselves into possibly a top 4 place very soon.